Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday to you from the rancho. Going to share some thoughts today. I do get a lot of people ask me questions about live streaming and about putting up video content on YouTube. And I've shared my thoughts before about, I can't say that YouTube hates live streams, but I can say that YouTube understands that live streams have a very limited focal point and timeline of interest. And once your live stream is ended, within a day or two of putting up a live stream, you'll notice that the views on the live stream, and I really don't care what the topic is, they really decline to dramatically into the 0 point. Whereas if you put short pieces, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of content up, even an hour of content, in a video format, it's much easier for YouTube to classify the what your video is about and promote that content out on YouTube. And I've seen that borne out time and time again, that for example, things that I've put up years ago continue to get traction in the way of videos, but I can't think of any live stream I've ever done over time that has racked up major views. It's just the nature of the beast. YouTube is video content driven. And although, yes, they allow the platform of live streaming to have things like super chats and other tie-ins, merchandise, and Patreons, memberships, and things like that, it's a way for them, I think, to offset the cost of storing very, sometimes live streams that can run up to 8 hours. And all of these things have to be saved, they have to be stored, they have to be archived, and all of that costs money. So by taking 30% off of things like Super Chat, it helps to defray the cost of that. Plus, it provides a platform, let's face it, that a lot of people, including me, enjoy because we love the interactive aspects of engaging an audience when you're doing something, whether it's creeping around the back alleys of a city, or creeping around a cemetery, or in the case of last night, creeping around a long closed juvenile girls facility here in the county. Yeah, creepy, watchable, you bet. But my main point today has to do with content and coming up with content. Because consistently on my streams and messages, Rosie, how do you come up with content ideas? Not only to do for live streams, but for videos. Well, in the case of videos, oftentimes you'll get inquiries from people, as I'm addressing today, that want to have questions answered about specific things like producing content. And my thoughts on live streaming and things like that. If you want to grow a channel and grow your membership base, of course, in my opinion, and it's borne out by YouTube statistics, that producing content in a video format and uploading it will always be a stronger driver than producing live streams. It's just a basic fact. I think more and more of us realize that. You can see that some channels that do live streams consistently as their base production, as their base contributions to YouTube, never seem to really grow. Video. Coming up with content ideas. Google is your friend, I can tell you that. People say, oh, I live in an area that's boring. It might be boring now, but when you start to dig down in towns and in cities, suburbs and things like that, you can also often find very interesting historical places that very few people know about, including you in the history of your town. Maybe you have to go 15, 25 miles away. You have to get out of your comfort zone and get in a car and get your smartphone or your iPhone and get out there, do some research and make something happen, either in the way of a live stream or recorded content. And I think that Google has been fantastic for me. For, yes, I'm in a beautiful area, the wine country here in Northern California, but the possibilities of content are literally endless, and they are where you live too. If you just go back and ask yourself, ask townspeople, any interesting things ever happen in this town, and it might have been somebody that was off in the town, it might have been a kidnapping, it might have been a tremendous fire that took place and gutted these, you understand where I'm driving on this? The possibilities for content are endless. They may not be in your particular town or on your street, but I guarantee you, within a 1 hour drive, there's likely going to be something in there, or many things that will drive content on YouTube. People are curious. They want to know things. They want to know things that happen. They want to discover places. Not so much, don't be too drawn by what I call, I don't want to call it drivel history, but taking people to places where they already know about it. They already know the story. They already know the backstory. Finding fresh content that has not been done before is the real challenge on YouTube. And if you can underpin that with some interesting history and some factual history, people will be driven to explore with you. Okay, that's how I come up with content. Let's say a town here in Marin County called San Rafael, California. And as I started to dig into San Rafael, it started popping up that, oh, this place is really connected to 410, or the code word for lighting one up or blowing a bowl. And I was very intrigued in it. And I was interested to see if I could go to the spot and find the place in San Rafael where the legendary term 410 came from. And I did several years ago, and it made for a very, very interesting live stream. So there's always, and I actually took people to the exact wall where the Waldos, this group of guys that hung around in search of one of their brothers' marijuana gardens, would meet every day at 410 and set out on their explorations to try to find said garden. So it became a very interesting story. And when you can connect the dots like that, you have something very fascinating. Now, what I've decided to do is try to adopt the best of both worlds. It may be duplicative in nature, but for example, last night's live stream on the California Youth Authority's Girls Juvenile Hall here in Kenwood, outside of Santa Rosa, was a very fascinating history to me. How could a place have a riot so bad in March of 1953 that they needed to bring a National Guard in to quell the riot? And it just amazed me that things like this occurred in the past. Well, what I decided to do, because as I end my streams, I like to get something to eat. Well, people don't really, YouTube doesn't really care about watching me mukbang sitting around after my streams. They would care more about just the content until I was done showcasing the place that I'm visiting. So what I've decided to do as kind of an experiment is to break out those parts of the live stream that have to do with the topic and upload them into a separate video. And I think that that might be the key to satisfying the best of both worlds, helping to grow a YouTube channel by bringing content and also having the fun engagement of the live stream up too. Because let's face it, I'm a social person. I love to do the interaction and the live streaming with people on the side chat, many people. It makes it a lot of fun, right? But we're going to see how that works out. But I suspect that that will, be a real key. So will things look redundant sometimes on the channel? Of course they will. Okay. But when all is said and done, if you can satisfy two requirements, at least for me. Number one, engage with people on live streams. And number two, make sure that you preserve the relevant content and put it up in a separate video breakout from that live stream, so that people can enjoy that. YouTube can catalog that and put that in for their search engines for video. Seems like a pretty good idea. I don't know. Will it work? Who knows? But I figured this way. If I'm driving miles out of the way and I'm soaking my feet running around in the rain and bringing very spooky content like at this abandoned girls' juvenile facility, I want it to be more enduring than just a live stream. I want people to enjoy that as, you know, a 40-minute or 50-minute showcase piece of content that will fit nicely into the YouTube algorithms. That way I'm extracting the most value out of that content. Love live streaming? Yes, I do. Love doing video content? Yes, I do. But I'll tell you what, sometimes it's a trade-off between the two. But finding content, Google is your friend, your history database at your local library. I'll tell you, these librarians in the reference section, they loved to have people come up and ask them, hey, did anything cool ever happen in this place? And they'll probably buttonhole you for an hour or so, telling you cool stuff that you can explore. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today. Just my thoughts, and have a wonderful day. Thumbs up as usual are appreciated.